Okay, folks, it's my pleasure to help induct Russell MacNeil, Ruck as we knew. Gotta tell you first though, just before we get into this, that this gym opened in the fall of '53. We thought it was Madison Square Garden, so oh my God, it was so beautiful. And Russell became our phys ed teacher a couple of years later, but Jocko Steele, the late Jocko Steele, Bozo's brother, was a good friend of mine, and we were not allowed in the gym at nighttime, but Russell had some friends like Mel and Claire Lorad. They'd be in there playing. Jocko and I'd sneak in and have a few shots at the basket at night. We were only grade 9 or so, we weren't allowed in here at all. So Russell used to come in and catch us on the way home from visiting Isabel. And he lived on 10th Street, so he had to go down through here. Sometimes he'd drop in and say hello to the guys. But anyway, Russell would come in and we'd say, listen, Russell, we're practicing. We want to be as good as Richie Spears. And Russell would say, there's not a chance. Forget it. But then we'd say, maybe we'd like to be as good as Dave McGowan. Not a chance. Then we do Donnie McCauley. We keep on going. He said, there's not a chance you'd be any good at those guys. In Blackwood, you stick to baseball. Steele, you stick to rugby. That's what he told us to do. So then we finally tried once more. We said, well, we'd like to practice so we'd be as good as Lowell Cormier. And Russell said, yeah, but that's different. Russell was born in Waterford on February 24th, 1931. His introduction to the world of sport was at the Strand Gym, and his older brother Gussie played for the Waterford Strands when they were Canadian Arena basketball champions in 1947. He joined this legendary team the following year in grade 10, and played with them for 2 seasons. He also played baseball and rugby during high school. Then from 49 to 54, the man, simply known as Ruck, attended St. Francis Xavier University in Antigonish and was a member of the university's varsity basketball, football, baseball, and track and field teams. I wonder if he studied. Russell earned 2 degrees at X. He did study, an arts degree in 53 and an education degree in 54. From 1954 to 1961, he worked as a physical education teacher at Mount Carmel High School, right here. In the years to follow, Ruck was appointed Sydney's Director of Parks and Recreation, Provincial Director of Sport and Community Services, Physical Fitness Supervisor for Cape Breton and Northeastern Nova Scotia, and Provincial Recreation Department Director for Eastern Nova Scotia. And he's also appointed General Manager for the 1987 Canada Games that was held here, and he also served as the Liberal MLA for Cape Breton Centre from 89 to 98. There's a Liberal in the audience from Roger. One more. That makes 2. Like Juan Rogers now. He served as president of the Eastern Junior Hockey League for 14 years and was a basketball official for more than 25 years. And he served on both the Breton Education Center and the University College of Cape Breton building committees. Through all this, Ruck MacNeil still found time to be, as one former teammate and good friend, Lowell Cormier called, the face of the New Waterford Strands for almost a quarter of a century. Ruck was well questioned the straw that stirred the drink on so many of those Nova Scotian and Maritime Senior Championship teams, said Lowell. He always guarded the opposing team's big man, had tremendous court sense, and his patented outlet passes started so many fast breaks that led to easy baskets. Russell is very proud of his sports-filled life and would highlight this role as a founding member of the Waterford Pole Vault Classic basketball tournament for over three decades ago, plus his 3.5-year stint as general manager of the Canada Games. He was inducted into the St. Quebec Sports Hall of Fame in 2001 and the Cape Breton Sports Hall of Fame in 2010. It gives me great pleasure to honor Russell MacNeil here this evening.
Thank you very much. I don't know whether, when they talk about people here, whether it's your obituary column or whether it's something that may be in the future. But let me say at the beginning that I'm very honored and very humbled to be asked by this committee to enter into this unique, first ever Hall of Fame in this beautiful town of New Waterford. Now, I know a lot of people didn't want to come up and say words, but as a former politician, if there's a microphone, And it's not bad, I'm not running for anything now. I don't have to get your vote right now. I have friends who may need it. But anyway, I'd like to reminisce just a little bit. Now, I got a problem with that also, because I met with the coffee club this morning at Tim Hortons, where we have, maybe 8 or 9 people who are very dedicated to life. And they tell a lot of lies. And they solved all the world problems this morning that I didn't even know we had. But I have to say that our newly minted counselor was at the table with us. And I kind of felt, I'm not sure what I should do tonight. Because as I was getting ready to leave, the Reverend Duncan Rhodes was sitting with us, by the way. And Lowell said, Reverend, you're talking tonight, don't take too long. And I said, well, I'm a former politician. I can't be short. And I'm glad that I got the opportunity to talk tonight because probably never have it again. So while I have this rapture of people, I know you're warm. You're waiting for the dance to get going because it's traditional here to have a great dance. But I got to tell you about when I first started, when my brother was in the Canadian national team and Marshall played in it. I went the next year. And I was kind of skinny. I was 6'1", 6'2". I could jump a little bit. And I went to practice with the Strands, down to the Strand gym. And I thought I was in heaven. But prior to that, there used to be the coach, Jack McKenzie. And he was the coach of the national team. And he was also the owner, we call him the owner, of the Strand Gym. And as you know, way back when, every Saturday night was bingo night. Crowds were there and they'd have prizes. But they had to clean the gym the next day because the Strands had basketball. And many of us who were young wanted to get in and shoot at the basket there. So what he did, he used to spread probably $1 in 10 and 5 cent pieces around the gym. And he'd tell us, if you find any money, you can keep it. And the gym would be cleared in no time at all, and we'd get about an hour of the basketball before the Strands come on. Now, they talk about bullying this time of year. Bullying was right in fact that day. 1 ball, 14 guys trying to get a shot. The other big thing I remember when I joined the Strands, they had a uniform. It was the first time I ever had a uniform. And I felt proud. And a couple of practices, I jumping and running, and Freddie Connors, who I loved very much, he's the first guy that ever wore knee pads playing basketball. He called me aside and said, Russ, if you want to be on the team, I got a little advice. You jump, you give me the ball, and you'll get an assist. And I jumped all year. In fact, they gave me a little opportunity when I got to St. X. I knew how to jump. That's about it. But it was just a wonderful time, and we had to do all those things. So I'm just very pleased that so many people here, and I hear all the nice things about the hockey players and all. I was president of a couple of leagues in this area, and some of them were not nice. I had to suspend a lot of people. I mean, we had great hockey teams, because I remember my friend, Dr. Buchanan, his wife Ann, he got me in to be president. No one else would take it. And we had many wars, and then I had the senior league also. And we have characters like Gordy Grant from Glace Bay, and McLeod from Sydney. And I had to issue a fine of $100 for some fraction they did. They took me $100 in pennies. That's what it was. So times were sort of great, and it was fun. And I'm just so pleased to see all the people here. You know, Duncan and I's crew down, and Lowell, who's just joined the Tim Hortons crew. I asked for an impression of how our new counselor is doing. Some were not very nice to him. Majorities were very nice to him. And he's a tremendous guy. The only thing I like about Lowell being councillor, he has great ideas. With he and Cecil, the mayor, I think I know him fairly well. I think they're going to turn this community into something that you've never ever believed. And I firmly believe that, and I know that with his leadership and the way you can do things, you've got it made. And I'm so glad I'm from here, and I'm so glad I'm back, and I so hope to be with you for a long time, coming back and forth. So, my sons and daughter are here. I'm at home. Don't have a house here, but I'm at home. And all the friends that I played with, I love you to death. Thank you very much.